Hey squaddies, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening whenever you're listening or watching. Hello. Be sure to check out memberships. You can join if you're interested. You'll be in the company of equally amazing squaddies. And just like with all my information, I'll put the links inside the description box. Thanks. So the UK media is still bitter about Harry and Meghan's Nigerian trip, which was not a royal tour, by the way, but an Invictus Game / philanthropy tour / visit. Well, that's what I call it, by the way. Oh well, that's their problem. And did you say that the Woodford royals were still bitter and miserable about the invite as well? Oh well, that's also their problem. And instead of trying to fix their problem with connecting with the average person, you have your royalists going on a racist and a xenophobic rampage on TV and social media platforms. Yes, that's how these royalists truly feels, but getting the support from the Woodford royals while thinking they're going to be protected by them, only to get dragged to the point where their post was deleted. Yes, he was dragged left, right, and center. I even had to jump into the dragging session. Man. He deserved it. He actually thought that deleting it was going to calm his hate-filled world back into peace. No, it didn't. And I still believe that he doesn't have regret or shame over his comment. That's how he and all these royalists always felt. It's always the typical behavior from a racist, whether closeted or open. Pretend to be about this, but if that same this enters within their space, all hell breaks loose. Remember President Obama and what we got after his presidency ended? They want that with Harry, to leave and forget his wife and children. I remember reading an article saying, "We'll forgive you, Harry, if you leave your wife and children and come back to us. We'll forget all about this. Come back home and marry one of our English roses. Submit into the British monarchy's crusty and bloated feet while we continue making money off of your misery." I mean, it's a part of the toxic cycle of British Woodford Wales. But that never happened. And quite frankly, I don't think it will ever happen. Just like the British media and Woodford Wales will never admit their gaslighting and racism. We all know the story of when Harry brought home a mixed-race Black American woman who already made her own money and owned her own things. Well, actually, let's be real. The Black part was their issue. He brought home this Black woman who they already felt didn't belong in that space. The aristocratic monarchy, upper class, that's mainly exclusive to white people. And I'm pretty certain that most of them would prefer to be just only exclusive to white people. But, they have to have the tokens there as well, to make sure that they're not seen as racist with connections. That old way of thinking that doesn't align with how the world runs nowadays. I mean, yes, there's wealthy people, but like you could be wealthy but still look down upon in that kind of circle. So, and instead of Harry reacting like them and keeping Meghan a secret or ending their relationship, he married her. He adores her, loves her, and protects her. These so-called men and their default mistresses couldn't believe it. Even his cowardly brother and deadbeat father couldn't believe it and had the nerve to be angry with him about it for sticking up for his then fiancée, now wife. Because they didn't think of doing it themselves, or they thought that they couldn't because it's part of the toxic circle of being married into the Woodford royals. But Harry's always been a man who thought outside the box, and now has a wife like Meghan who only made him a better version of himself, and helping him to realizing that his upbringing was not only toxic but dangerous. Harry also got an eye-opener at how racist his family and the British press truly is. As a privileged white man, he never had to really think about this. Sure, he was aware of it, but it wasn't in his personal realm. But after dealing with lies, racism, gaslighting, xenophobia every day while being controlled and abused by the people you call family your entire life, took a dangerous toll and a scare that made Harry truly realize that leaving at that moment was the only option that they had. Because being popular and loved and respected by former and current Commonwealth countries where the majority of the people are black and of color, along with predominantly white Commonwealth countries, were a no-no. Like, how dare your black wife, or you spare, be more popular than I, the king and heir. Harry was like, you can hold this, I'm out. Okay, that's not how you talk, but you get what I mean. He's like, you can have this, I'm out. He took his wife, child, and himself without security because his deadbeat father thought by intentionally revoking it, he would react like him. Being this weak coward of a man and believing that the only way a British prince could survive in this horrible world is to live off his daddy. The same way his daddy couldn't survive without his mommy, Elizabeth, funding his lifestyle, provided by taxpayers and closed-door deals with corrupt countries. But Harry didn't crawl back begging. Instead, he proved them wrong. Thanks to his wife and godfather to their daughter, Tyler Perry, a billionaire at that, who's also black, was there to help. And after disappearing for a while, the British press was mocking them with memes and trailer parks, working in fast food, on top of publishing racist, xenophobic memes, not realizing that Harry and Meghan were silently building their empire. I know it must have been difficult to see them moving into their big, beautiful home in Montecito, California, while you're miserable in your marriage and in an overcast, tiny island surrounded by poops of water. The British media actually had the nerve to try to make Harry and Meghan seem like that they're smug and entitled by mentioning how many rooms that they may or may not have in their home and making up lies that they weren't popular in Hollywood spaces, only to get egg on their dried out faces when seeing who was in their spaces and the friends that they do have. Fast forward past the successful Invictus Games, podcasts, Netflix projects, Meghan's Gem, and more. Then we have Nigeria inviting him over for a visit. That showed the world once again that Harry and Meghan don't need the British press or Welfare Royals. It's the other way around. Now that beautiful visit was everything, including Meghan becoming Princess Meghan, Adamasa Omuo Aruksho Kowom, in her own right. Yeah, I know I pronounced that horribly. And instead of learning from Harry and Meghan's experience, the Welfare Royals and British media fall back into the same BS playbook of lies and, well, utter BS. And if you don't see those people as insane as they keep choosing the same path over and over again just to get the same results at this point, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, there's people who actually believe that this woman right here was Kate Middleton and try to be smart about it. Anywho, Charles and William are allegedly trying to prevent other countries from inviting and having an audience with Harry and Meghan, which is hilarious in my book because I'm certain that most of these countries can't stand Charles and William. And somehow the missing invisible Kate is also furious about the successful Nigerian tour. You can only laugh at these irrelevant welfare royals. They literally have no purpose, yet believe that they hold some power or influence just because their ancestors convinced some mentally unstable individuals that they should be ruled over. They're a laughing stock, boldly presenting mistresses out and about, and still bitter that Harry won't leave his family for them. May Harry and Meghan continue to thrive, be loved, respected, and visit as many countries as they're invited to as they please. You don't have to be a so-called royal to serve, because service is universal. Unfortunately, we have to segue over to the Welfare Royal skit. So, hit it, Horse Miller!
This podcast is sponsored by Homest,
where the breeze will lead you onto the lap of your very own married middle-aged father of two. Buy it at your local staff fora or at an available Amazon storefront today. Hey,
I'm the third most handsomest in the UK. And what number is Harold?
I don't know.
0.
Oh, congratulations, darling. You are far more handsomer than Harold will ever be. California has certainly aged him.
You think so? Well, how about Nigeria?
Yes, Nigeria as well. How dare they invite him?
Exactly. I had my assistant request to block any more invites from him and that woman.
Why don't we focus on ourselves?
Harold makes me sick, the traitor.
Get into position.
Yes, mistress. What are you doing on my... What in the bloody hell are you doing on my floor? Rose was teaching me yoga poses. Sure she was. I wasn't born yesterday. Tampon, baby. Despite your ban of Harry and Meghan being invited to other countries, the countries are on their side. Meanwhile, William is number 3 on a troll poll, and he's bested by my dear mate, Jeremy, who made it to number 1. Oh, hello, William. You won't ruin my day, Carmilla. Why are you on the floor in all fours? Interrupting a pegging session?
No, your majesty.
That Viagra isn't working for you both?
William, your Viagra prescription has always been on time.
You
Kate!
AI Kate. And now my update is finally complete. I can also take part as Kate on royal engagements again.
You're definitely AI Kate, because the real Kate will try to avoid as many engagements as possible. And I can clearly understand every word you're saying.
You also try to avoid the real Kate as much as possible.
How did you get out of the lab?
I walked out and read all the papers from the past week, and I'm angry that Meghan trusted herself, did up her makeup, and hair without any help. I'll show her. Look at her.
Harold is one lucky bastard.
What did you say?
I hate Harold and that woman.
I want everything Meghan wore on that trip.
Get in line. Most of them are sold out and backordered.
And Meghan is also a fashion icon in Nigeria. Perhaps we can contact some tokens regarding this look.
We're in a crisis and you ladies are thinking about fashion? What, about Harry and Nigeria? Well, yes, that as well. But my official portrait is far more important. People are making a mockery out of it. It looks the way I wanted it to look. That bloody tampon was your idea? I'm not surprised. Oh, shut up, Bodie.
Oh dear.
I've heard quite enough. Now, all of you, out of my office, at once.
And that's all for this podcast. And I'd like to wish a happy 6th wedding anniversary to Prince Harry and Princess Meghan. And may your love last forever and ever and ever. But in the meantime, I hope that your days are filled with blue skies, sunshines, with positive vibes. I'd like to thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell. Also, join a membership. I have the links inside the description box. My name is Deanna, and you are watching Thriving with the Sussexes. Talk to you soon.